Hey, thank you. Bam.
That one hurt last time.
Goes to the back of the head.
Is the timer going?
No.
Yes.
A few more seconds.
Okay.
4 more seconds.
I'd like to call the February the 20th, 2012 work session for the Frankfurt Board of Commissioners to order. Would the clerk please call the roll?
Commissioner Wilder.
Here.
Commissioner Henry. Here. Commissioner Turner.
Yeah, here.
Commissioner May.
Here.
Mayor Graham.
Yes, so we're all present and counted for. Moving into the agenda, the first item we have was citizen comments. So the policy we have, we're trying to follow is any citizen come before the commission to address any particular issue, and we try to stay within our framework of 5 minutes. So if you have to come up, please ask you to come up and identify yourself by name and then make your comments.
My name is Ann Gibbs, and the comment I have is concerning discussion items on this agenda. Your board appointment process. I don't know what your board appointment process is, so I can't comment on it, which is one reason I would kind of like citizens' comments to be dropped to the bottom of the agenda, so that we can, whoever's interested, could make a comment on what it is you all have discussed. I may have something to contribute, I may not have something to contribute. I do know several years ago the board appointment process was discussed, particularly in lieu of those board appointees who don't show up to meetings, and there's no process with the city ordinances to get rid of these people, especially if they're not going to resign voluntarily. That is a problem with the board appointment process. I don't know if y'all are going to address that or not, but it's something that does need to be addressed in connection with your total discussion on the board appointment process. That's all.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay. Any other citizen comments? Okay, seeing none. Then we'll move on to the next item on the agenda, staff reports. Mr. Goins.
Thank you. First of all, I want to say that we had a very successful Class A basketball tournament recently at the Frankfurt Convention Center. And we received, the commission received a letter from Stan Stidell, who's president of the Touchstone Energy, in which he talks about the huge success of the tournament and says that their website was flooded with positive comments about the tournament in the host city of Frankfurt. We appreciate the Frankfurt Convention Center and the city of Frankfurt providing this opportunity to conduct our event in the capital city, and we definitely look forward to this event next year. With that same tournament, we received a thank you note from the Walton Verona High School girls team, which were the state champs. The dear city of Frankfurt, we would like to thank you for the hospitality and exciting atmosphere during the Class A state tournament. We were very impressed with the organization and appreciated the kindness shown to us by the people of Frankfurt. And that's kind of segue into our department heads reports, because many of our departments were fundamental in putting this basketball tournament on, with police, with traffic control, and streets and parks, and who am I forgetting? The fire department. We all, several of our departments worked diligently in the planning of this tournament, and it went off without a hitch. So let's go to our staff reports. Mr. Dawson, you want to go first?
Sure.
Do they need to come forward? Everyone, remember, you need to come forward and speak into the mic so that we can get you on the record.
Thank you, Fred. just a couple things I would like to just keep everyone abreast of. Last week, I sent a memo and put it in all the board's mailboxes, as well as I gave a copy to management about the audit request, the audit letter, comment letter that was prepared as a result of the audit. There were 8 requests in there, and one request was to form an audit committee, and this audit committee would take a look at the audit report and the audit management letter and make recommendations whether we would continue on with the current audit firm that we utilized this past year, or we need to take a look at other firms as well. So I've identified 2 folks that would be willing to serve. They have significant audit experience with the state auditor's office. Each of them have probably 20 plus years in preparing audit reports, as well as overseeing audit reports. And so I've got some commitments from 2 people that would be willing to serve and take a look at the audit report and make a recommendation based on questions back to the audit firm, as well as questions to my staff. So if the board's in agreement, I'll proceed with having someone, a committee made up of 3 or 4 people, take a look at that. And again, I want to have some people that's got some experience looking at audit reports. And also, I would like to take a look at some of our banking agreements right now, and possibly bid out some of our banking contracts. We've not done that in the past, and I'd like this committee to take a look at that and maybe even look at the bids as they come back to try to see if we can cut some of our fees, our bank fees down, as well as improve our investment earning ratios. So that's the 2 things I'd like for them to do, as well as maybe take a look at some of our control points, some of the improvements that we're making based on these 8 recommendations. So that's what I want to utilize that committee for, if that's okay. So that's my plan anyway.
Okay, any commissioners want to make any responses?
That sounds fine to me.
Thank you.
Thank you. Jim, does Parks have a report?
Yeah, I've got a small report. How y'all doing?
Hey.
I hope y'all got the memo on our utility usage and water costs for the year. I just wanted to report that we had another great year in reducing our kilowatt usage. We used less than 66,000 less kilowatts than we used last year, which correlates to about 5 homes in Frankfurt providing electricity for a whole year. And the big use was in the water, of course. We had a record year for rainfall, so I can't take all the credit for that. But we, we used 14,687,000 gallons less water last year in 2010. So, you know, this department is trying to reduce our kilowatt and water usage. We have done some things and hope to continue to do things to reduce our usage, because the problem with the utilities, the cost keeps going up. So if we can save a little bit, that's just going to save the city money. But we had a good report, and be glad to answer any questions.
Okay, thanks, Jim.
Thank you.
Mr. Donahue, you have anything with Human Resources? Mr. Hackbart?
No report.
We had a question in last commission meeting about what effect pay-as-you-throw has had on the recycling. Do you have anything on that?
We have the totals from January back, and some of these numbers that we're doing the tagging of all the cans, so some of the numbers might be a little higher, like the garbage side where we tagged the can but we went in and took the garbage. So some of these numbers really aren't playing out. We need to have some time to get the real numbers in, but just for January, the solid waste decreased by 18%, even though we were taking the garbage that we were tagging. So I expect that number to drop further as we go forward. And then on the recycling side, our recycling actually increased 44% from the previous January. So still, these are preliminary numbers, but kind of confirm that those numbers will continue to trend in those directions.
Okay.
Can I ask one?
Mr. May?
Just one question, because I didn't want to put Jeff on the spot, so I was going to, just because someone had asked me this question a while ago about the glass, and I had told them that not all of the glass that we collect recyclable stuff from actually gets recycled. Some of it doesn't when there's not a market, and then someone challenged that. I just wanted to ask him while he was here, just so he could tell everyone about
all the glass that we recycle, that we take in our recycling bin, goes in our trucks, and we transport all that glass to the Lexington facility. So it all goes to the recycling center. To date, there's not a true market for glass, and so some glass is probably used for purposes other than recycling, just because there's not an actual market for the material. But all our glass does go to Lexington to the recycling center.
But I just wanted to clarify that not every piece of glass gets recycled and used for products down the road, which is not our fault.
Yeah.
It's just it's because of lack of market.
Yes. There's not a glass recycling facility in the state of Kentucky.
Okay. All right, thank you. Mr. Wilder, did you raise your hand?
Yeah, I was just a question about the recycling rate. Does that refer to the actual recycling rate or to the participation rate?
This, when I mentioned the 44%,
Yeah.
that's the tonnage increase.
Right.
So actually the rate is, given everybody's received a recycling can and a solid waste cart, it was 1 out of 3 recycled. Now we're probably approaching 90% recycling, so it's really gone up to help manage their waste stream from their homes. So yes, our stops on a recycling is really increased to the point where our recycling trucks, they're pushing the end of the day to try to get done off the routes because everybody's recycling. Every household is putting out a recycling can, whereas before their routes were a lot shorter.
That's great news, especially since and you say that's just the number for January.
That's the number for January.
Great. That's good news. Thanks, Jeff.
Thank you.
Thank you. Chief Passage, do you have a report? Fire Department.
Just 2 quick items. Just to inform the commission, we've begun our firefighter recruit process. We have a total of 160 applicants. Testing begins March 10th, so we're on track with that, and it's a long, extensive process. But this is a good time to get started because I anticipate at least 5 or 6 retirements between the end of March and August. And secondly, the dive team we've established a schedule for recertification training. First training is March 1st, and we have a target date to get us reactivated of May 1.
Thanks, Chief.
Thank you. Chief Will Hoyt, Police Department.
Just a couple of items. The All-A tournament is kind of a warm-up for the women's NAIA that'll be coming soon, so that gave us a chance to prepare for that tournament. Also, we're taking applications for Citizens Police Academy. I believe this is the 14th class that we'll be conducting. Any citizen who's interested can stop by and pick up an application, or applications are available on the city's website. It's a nice program that gives citizens an insight as to what the police department does, what it takes to train an officer, and some of the equipment available, and gives citizens and officers a chance to interact together positively. Also, we're setting up a date in April with the DEA to do a prescription drug take-back at the health department. We'll announce a date once it's certain, but anyone who's interested in dropping off prescription drugs that they have left over can drop them off and we'll dispose of them in a ecologically sound manner. That way nobody's flushing it down into Mr. Scalf's sewers. So that's the report for the police department.
Thank you.
Mr. Scalf, you have a report?
And we appreciate them not going down the sewers. I do have a request. I was informed last week, we have a contract with H&A Resources to dispose of our biosolids. It's a 5-year contract that expires in September of next year. We spend approximately $130,000 a year, and we've run out of money for our current year. So I'd like to add that, adding more money to their contract, and I've got $130 in the current year's budget. It just hasn't been activated, and I'd like to add that under consent if there's no objections, to add that money to their contract.
Do that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Mueller? Planning and Code Enforcement.
Excuse me. The letters to the abandoned property owners went out last week. I've gotten a few calls from them already. And that list will be put on the web as requested by the City Commission by the end of the week or beginning of next week. The 2nd Street Form Code is moving forward. We've had a meeting in February and we'll be having another meeting here shortly. We're still reviewing the draft from the consultants. The Planning Commission has been working hard on, and with the county and the city, on reducing its parking requirements. We're revamping a lot of our parking requirements and reducing the number, which is not typical throughout the area that we've been researching. The city inspections of the buildings, we're moving forward with that, and we should have that done end of the month, and hopefully report to you all at the first March meeting. And in March, mid-March, is the building inspections state conference. So there'll be 2 or 3 of us going to that as well. That's all I have.
Thanks, Gary. Thank you. Any comments? Okay, thank you.
Rebecca, do you have anything?
I know we all received emails late last week from DFI. They would like to apply for an Our Town grant for the market study / traffic study / parking study downtown. They will actually be applying for the grant under their name and under their 501c3. However, they would like the city to be a primary partner, and we'd like to put that on the February agenda on the 27th, if that's all right with everybody.
Sounds great.
Okay, thank you.
What about, didn't you pick up a check?
I, along with Mr. McCarty and the mayor and Mr. Parrish, picked up a check for $20,000 last week from the governor's office for recreational trails, for a trail behind Kentucky State. Yes, we did. Great. Thank you.
Nice.
Just a little side comment, she goes back. We are so fortunate as a city to have Ms. Hall working with us on grants. It's so obvious, things that we're getting, as you look at the infusion of funds comes in our city because of y'all's work. Of course, I know you work with department heads and things of that nature. You're not doing it all on your own, but you really have been a great asset. You are a great asset.
I have a question about that. Does that relate to the rail to trail, or is it for a separate? Is that for a separate trail?
We'll come up here.
Yes. Does that relate to the rail to trail that's been under discussion, or is it a separate trail?
It is not a Rails to Trails project. It's a recreational trails, but it is along the old, what I call the Pensley Trail. It runs behind K-State. But yes, that is the trail that we're talking about.
Okay. Thank you.
Jilson with the IT department, you have a... No report, sir. No report? Okay. And that, Mayor, that concludes reports.
Okay, reports. All right, we're down now to old business. Any commissioners have any old business to bring up?
Thank you, Mayor.
None? Okay, let's move on down to new business. And I see a little asterisk there beside new business says, after this is over, department heads may be dismissed if they like, but of course you can stick around if you like. Okay, any new business? Okay. Now we're down to discussion items, and Mr. Goins.
Our IT department has been working for quite some time on the website, and improving our website, and to put it on the Drupal system. And I think we're about to wrap that up, and Charlene has been doing a lot of that work. So we greatly appreciate too, we've had a volunteer coordinator to help us with that, and we'll make sure we thank him, be part of your report.
And can I add
I'm
something,
sorry.
Mayor?
Yes, Mr. Turner.
I was just heavily involved in the recreation of the website at my own company, at Roding, and we just went live a couple of weeks ago. But it was better of a 6-month, 7-month, 8-month project that I know firsthand how much work goes into it. So I wanted to thank all of the IT staff for their efforts.
Okay, thank you.
I'm a little nervous, so.
We'd like to thank Walt Baldwin, the professional IT person that helped us with this project, and contributed quite a bit of pro bono time.
Yes, he did, and I was going to try to meet with him before I presented it with you all, but I didn't get a chance to meet with him.
Would you mind, you know, my problem here, so if you would speak up, just I
Okay.
appreciate it.
Okay, what I want to show you is, this is the new website. I want to just show you what I've done versus what we have on the old website. I mean, what we have on the current website. So on this new website, what I've done, I would like to put some more pictures here, but I need to get permission from Gene Birch, the photographer. We have pictures on our website currently that we have from him, but they're smaller, and I need them a little bit bigger to put them in a slideshow there. If there's any pictures in particular, normally I would put pictures about Frankfurt, about the citizens here, or if we have something, like if the fire department has Fire Prevention Month, if they took pictures or something, we can also put those here, or any other pictures that you all would like to have there. And over here on the right hand side, I have some quick links. Hold on just a minute, I made a couple of more updates. I made some quick links so that people don't have to go into a category to get something that they want, and things that we had on the home page, particular stuff about the Pay As You Throw program and all that. As soon as this refreshes, it'll be a link on there for that, and property taxes, and I have one for jobs. It's taking this a little bit. And I'll click on a couple of those. I just have to reconnect back to it. It's been sitting here for a while. I'm sorry about this. No worries. I came over here about 10 o'clock and set this up, and then I just let it run. So. And then I'll, after I show y'all what's on the home page about announcements. Now the announcements that I do have on the home page, they have a date field in it. And when the announcement, let's just say ends today, at 4:30, it'll go off the website by itself, where I don't have to go back in and take it off like I have to now. And oh, this is not wanting to cooperate with me. I was saying that the connection timed out. I'm just going to try it again. Is that already? Yeah, we have that. I'm just going to do it. Yeah. Okay. All right, we're back on track now. I have these items under the quick links. I have the city calendar. Well, did you want to see the rest of the home page? Scroll down. And that's what the announcements look like. That's about the bridge being closed, the senior bridge being closed. Then I just put a little something about President's Day, that we were open, just to show you all. And if it's a holiday, they'll say it's a holiday, and after the meeting today, that President's Day thing will go away. I'll just put something out there just to show what it would look like. And then up at the top here, I have just current activities where the current bids that we have open, if we have any, will be listed here. And those are kind of like on the same event as the announcements. If there's not any, there won't be any listed. Then as you see, it just lists the stuff at the top. And then you can go back home. Is there anything in particular y'all want to print on? I mean, to click on here. Well, here, like the work session agenda, it's a current item here. And if you click there, it takes us to there. And I'm going to make it so that when you click on it, it just automatically opens.
Comes up instead of comes out.
Oh, I need to speak up. Okay. And I wasn't for sure about the colors. I just chose like blue and gold, if y'all don't like the colors or whatever. And if you go across the top here, I have the blue and gold on the menu item itself. If you don't like that, I can change it to all blue. And if you don't like this gold down through here, I can change it to another color instead of blue and gold. They all look the same. I included this state and county links so that people know that, you know, state government has some stuff. And when I clicked on the Chamber of Commerce, their website opened up. And so under residents, I put what residents would be looking for, such as the address locator and other items. The Get Involved Volunteer, we had that on our current website, and I just put that under residents just in case anybody wants to volunteer. And that's what that page looks like. And let me click on the city government page, and under city commission,